Hey everybody, it's LTM here. I'm at the Hall Cinema 7 right now, and I'm about to go and watch Haunted Mansion. Before I give my own thoughts and let you all off, I just want to let you guys know, and this is going to be really shocking, I never rode the Haunted Mansion ride back at Disney World. Even when I went on my band trips or with my family, I never had a chance to ride the Haunted Mansion ride. Maybe because of how long the lines were, or maybe it was because I just never got into the idea. I don't know, but bottom line, I never rode the ride before in my life. The only thing Haunted Mansion connection I have is the 2003 film starring Eddie Murphy. And believe it or not, I rewatched it last night before going to see this, just to do some sort of comparison, but I don't know. This movie sounds like it's going to be a lot different than the Eddie Murphy one. But the Eddie Murphy one, yeah, it doesn't hold up very well. Personally, for me, I think it has kind of grown on me. It's a lot of those movies where my family would turn on during the Halloween season, or anybody that grew up with who first saw the film, has grown up with the film, knows what it is. So basically, the original movie has gained a cult following, which, yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but personally I have a soft spot for it, and at least that movie had heart. So I'm going into this film with an open mind, hoping that it'll be good, maybe hopefully great. But I'll give you all my thoughts when I come back. This is LTM, and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I am back from Haunted Mansion. I want to state one thing clear. Like I said, I grew up with the Eddie Murphy version. I've never rode the ride back at Disney World or Disneyland. I've never been to Disneyland, but still, I have some connection with the movie. And basically, so after watching this, I kind of had fun with it. But on the other hand, it's like, personally, I think it's slightly better than the Eddie Murphy version, but I wouldn't call this a masterpiece. So basically, the movie takes place in New Orleans. You've got this guy who lost his wife recently, and he's being offered a job to go and exorcist this haunted mansion. And basically, he teams up with Owen Wilson, who's a priest, but later in the movie, he isn't actually a priest. But he got this priest, and he and Owen Wilson go team up with this group of people who, when they go inside the house, they're not allowed to leave. So they have to find a way to possess all these ghosts. This also includes a cast including Tiffany Haddish as like this witch sort of doctor. You have Danny DeVito as this professor, and you've got this this little boy and his mom who are new to the town. The movie kind of reminded me a little bit of the Eddie Murphy version, but to be fair, it is completely different. It is its own identity. Okay, there's no identity to this movie. We're going to get to that in a minute. But let's get to the good stuff out of the way. First of all, the performances in the cast do a very excellent job. Mostly Danny DeVito and Owen Wilson. They're probably the reasons why I kept watching this film. I also do like the costume designs and the visuals. They look fantastic. I was in the smaller theater, so I do kind of feel bad for watching it in a small theater, because it would have looked pretty much more impressive on the big screen, a much bigger screen. And the movie, for the most part, has a really good emotional core. Like I said, one of the main characters' wife is dead, and he's trying to cope with the fact that he has to deal with his wife being dead. And the movie does a good job with the emotional part. It is kind of depressing. But with that said, the story itself is kind of complicated when you get down to it, when you break it down, because it's like, you know, there's also a subplot involving the little boy, and it turns out that his dad is dead as well. And it's like during the second third of the movie, he's basically it's like his dad it's kind of like how his dad is back and he's able to connect with his dad near the third act, and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. There are some good there's a couple good jump scares, but for the most part, they're all kind of stale and kind of cheap. Kind of like the Eddie Murphy version. It's trying so hard to, it doesn't really feel like a horror film, but more of a dark comedy, which I understand. The Eddie Murphy version did this too. But, you know, there was some balance, and, well, this movie didn't do, and there are a couple jump scares, but it just didn't work for the most part. And honestly, they just felt like a mess. I don't like the pacing. It felt very uneven. The first half felt very slow. Once we got to team up with the main characters, it did sort of pick back up. But for the first half of it, the pacing was just kind of uneven. So overall, it's kind of, I like parts of it, just not the whole entire movie. If you grew up riding on the ride, or you're just someone who if you're just wanting to go see this out of morbid curiosity, go see it. If you never rode the ride, or you're not a fan of the Haunted Mansion in general, I kind of recommend it just for some of the good moments it has in it, but this is something I would rather wait till rental or streaming. And be honest, and this is going to sound like a weird controversy, I do kind of recommend the Eddie Murphy one. But that to that movie's defense, that movie had more personality. Yes, the Eddie Murphy one is silly and awkward, but it kind of relished it. From the hokey effects, to the cheesy acting, to just the odd writing, to everything about it. It's not scary, nor even funny, but it is a fun kids movie if you look at it differently. This movie's trying to be so many different things. Like, this movie doesn't know if it wants to be a kids film, a black comedy, or adding juvenile humor or adding dark humor, kid-friendly humor, over the top jump scares, small jump scares. It just jumps all over the place. I admire it for trying so much, but it just makes it less of an identity, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like I said, it's kind of all over the place. I admire it for trying so much, but it just didn't work. And for the most part, and like I said, there are some good moments in this film. I just think there was it's like a bunch of writers came in and said, let's do this, or let's do that, let's choose this for this movie. It's kind of like the Velma series, where it's like, it's really wanting you to like it, and has all these ideas and opportunities that you just kind of like, you're just kind of like, what's it trying to be? What's it want us to do? So but though in a strange way, I do take this version over the Eddie Murphy one. I will strangely remember the Eddie Murphy version more. But overall, if you're just out of morbid curiosity, or if you love the Haunted Mansion ride, go see it. If not, this is a rental or a streaming thing. Overall score, 6.5 out of 10. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. And I could see a lot of people being split with it, especially how Disney's been doing lately and how box office has been lately. We might get ourselves another flop. But I don't know, man. So Hollywood's not doing great as of lately. Barbie and Oppenheimer have been doing pretty well lately, but other than that, a lot of movies are starting to bomb right now, so I don't know. Okay, guys, that's Haunted Mansion. What's your favorite version of Haunted Mansion? Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. This is LTM, and I'll see you guys next time.